Yeah, so I'll start out with the intro, introduce Trevor, and then introduce
At some point, but realistically, we just want them to go back and listen to this anyway. You ready, man?
Yes, sir. Let me know when.
Let's go.
Welcome to another episode of the True Beast Podcast, brought to you by xdog.com, where you can find the world's greatest fitness and health enhancement harness for dogs, the X-Dog Fitness Vest. Exercising your dog has never been easier than with the X-Dog Fitness Vest. Be sure to check out xdog.com if you want to invest into your dog's health and give them opportunity to live a longer, healthier, happier life. And as you know, we have a special guest today on this episode. As always, I got my boy Trevor over here. And of course, we've got Gina and Chris Moore of Ibulldogges.
Hi.
And so, let's just cut to the chase. Gina, how's your relationship with R. Kelly?
I'm too old.
But today, man, they specialize in oldie bulldogs, right? And we'll take a deeper dive into that as we go. But they were at the ABKC Nationals. Chris,
You guys were there?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
you're an actual ABKC judge, right?
Yes, sir.
So let's just cut to the chase. How did you actually? What inspired you to start getting into the oldie bulldogs?
You said we can be as truthful as we want.
Yeah.
Always, man. That's the only way it works.
I did pit bulls. I think that's what they would call them back then, right?
Yeah.
It was before the ABKC, and I was getting left in the dust, my man.
Yeah.
I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
Like, I'm looking at dogs like Cairo and dogs like, and I had Cairo's grandpa in my crib, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, damn, these motherfuckers is leaving me. Like, I got to do something. So I went out and I bought a bulldog. Figured that's what they was doing, you know what I mean?
They was. And hard.
And they, listen, I can't prove it though, you know what I'm saying?
I can prove it.
I can prove by what I did though.
Yeah.
I jump started right to the front of the class. Like, I was like, oh, this is, like, I don't know who's doing it and how they doing it, but I got the same result because you couldn't see the bulldog.
Yeah. Especially if it comes up with a full tail, right?
I had full tails.
There we go.
Like, I got a dog outside, full tail.
Yeah.
So, like, from there, I was like, man, I got too much integrity to cheat. So I'm not a cheater, and I don't want to like dance behind the scenes and say, well, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not, like, I couldn't do that. So I just said, the hell with it. I like this dog better anyway. This is what I wanted.
Yeah.
He was thicker, more bone, crazier head. He just didn't have a tail to go whack, whack, whack in the crate. And we cut him off on the puppies. So I said, let's rock with these.
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go.
So basically, Chris, you were creating oldies before you knew they were oldies.
No, I mean, it was an oldie. I bought it straight from Jamie Sweet.
Oh, that's the bulldog you were mixing.
Yeah, I was mixing it in.
And for those that Jamie she created the Shorty Bull, right?
Yeah, but she used to breed English, Americans, and oldies
Yeah.
before.
Yeah, 20 years of that, man. She was, and before that, her dad and all of them. So.
Yeah. She's third generation, I believe.
Yep, exactly.
She's
Yeah,
a good
so-
friend of mine.
And then, so how did you guys end up meeting? And like, how that all start? Because, I mean,
Stud service.
that's
No pun intended.
No. What you always say? That I would hit up people for stud feet, whatever. He thought I was gay for years.
you would slide in all
Because
that.
I'm not a hoe. I guess everybody in the dog,
damn.
everybody in dogs is hoes. You know,
Are they? I didn't know that.
I don't know.
No, it's
He's like, you're always with you with a bunch of girls. I'm like, yeah, they're my friends. What do you mean? And I finally, met a guy who let Chris know I wasn't gay. And then he moved, from Atlanta to Dallas.
Is that where you're originally from?
No.
Atlanta?
I was living in Atlanta at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And where are you originally from?
Here?
Oh, you're
Okay.
Dallas. And so he has these dogs. So you were in the dog game too, or?
Okay, so I knew I wanted a bully breed. Well, I used to, do some rescue and just
Yeah.
kind of farm them out to my family. And there was this Rottweiler I liked, and I told him I want to go talk to my boyfriend. I'll be right back. And they hid her from me, and this would just keep happening. Like I wasn't good enough to save a dog. So I'm gonna get emotional already. So I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna do something else. So I go on Craigslist. I want a bully breed, but I don't want a pit bull because I don't want people to be scared of my dog and all that weird, like, can I touch your dog? So
Yeah.
I saw this bulldog that was $700 and she looked badass. So I got her. That was my first oldie. And that was before I met Chris. And So you know, you get on Facebook because when I came into Bulldogges, Facebook was already around where he's message board and VHS, right? So
Jesus.
I get on Facebook and, you know, you start off on the outside. If you don't know who's in and who's good, all you see is who's got the biggest mouth.
It's
you know?
probably also before Facebook had those groups and stuff too like that.
Yeah, I didn't have
Probably didn't
groups.
have cell phones back then.
Yeah, I don't even know
I
how.
remember the first one I got.
I don't know if there was oldie groups or how all these oldie people just kind of got together. I don't remember, but you know, he was king dingling over here, you know, and he had these big ass dogs, and he says that I hit him up like, "Oh, what's your secret?" You know, and that he might have told me something, and I was like, "Oh, cool," you know, and then never talked to him again. And he said, "Speak better." Okay, he said, "Oh, you thought you was a shit, you know, you were sarcastic." I don't remember, bro. Like a lot of dog guys were hitting me up, so you know, I don't know.
How is that being a woman in the dog game? You know what I mean? Like, cause I know it. Like, I get a lot of people sliding in my DMs, right, on the female side. But I noticed that a lot of females, man. I mean, they get a lot of people. I'm sure there's a ton of guys.
Yeah, it was the same as my whole life. I was always just had a bunch of homeboys, you know. So it's always cool with just being around dudes and not being a hoe. So it was the same. Where they try to holler at me, like, "Ooh, okay," you know.
Yeah.
Whatever. It didn't mean nothing to me, you know. But the baddest dogs did mean something.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And so we all came back from the ABKC Nationals a few weeks ago. What was your thoughts on the dogs nowadays? Do you see an evolution in them? Do you think they're better, worse?
Or have they gotten worse?
Devolution. Is that the opposite of evolution?
Devolution?
Well, the American Bully has definitely came a long way. I think it has its ups and downs, and I believe that comes from, like, you have judges who pick strictly off of structure, based off the standard. And then you have people who know what they're supposed to look like when you close your eyes.
Yeah.
So, like Blue, for example, I'm looking at him, he has amazing type. You have Zero, amazing type. Is there some structural imperfections? Yeah, there's no perfect dog.
Yeah.
So, do you take a dog who is massive, which is what he wants, the creator of the American Bulldog, he wants a massive dog, he wants a thick dog. So, when you're looking down the line, I always ask Gina to take the picture for me when I have my best of winners, best champion, best grand champion. I want to see literally a consistency.
Yeah.
And even for best of winners, when you have your different varieties, I want to see a consistency, just different heights.
Yeah.
And to me, that's how it's supposed to be. And I think the American Bully, as of right now, is being picked based off of type, which is really good. It's good for their breed.
Yeah.
We just have to get some of the other breeds some of the other judges to get more versed on type when it comes to the other breeds. Because I've watched some of the Shorty Bull picks, not just nationals, but just as a whole being a judge.
Yeah.
I've seen some of the Shorty Bull picks and some of the Oldie picks and some of the English picks, some of the Frenchie picks. They're a little all over the place. So you have people who are picking for just structure because they pick. I think they call it fault judging. They eliminate dogs because of faults.
Yeah.
So then they just end up with one dog by default. So you won because you're the default dog.
Yeah.
So
there's this lady, Laura Reeves, and she has this Pure Dog Talk podcast.
Yeah.
And she is now a judge in the AKC. But before, when she was just doing the podcast, she was talking about, she'd have like really badass judges on.
Yeah.
And breeders that are, really into their breed. And she's always talking about generic dogs. So it's like the dogs that win by default because there's just nothing else about them, they don't have disqualifications, but then they don't really have much to offer the breed either, So I feel like the whole fault judging generic dog thing discourages people with nice dogs to come out.
Yeah. Were you impressed with the amount of people that showed up this year? I mean, after a 2-year layoff or anything?
no.
Yeah.
The first time I went to nationals
You said we could be on.
It fucking sucked.
the first ABKC dog show I was ever at was nationals in Dallas. I didn't know what nationals meant. I just got my little girlfriends like, come on, let's wear matching shirts and go. Bro, I shit my pants, not literally. I got some Patron, I'm chugging, and I can go out there and show these dogs. I didn't even know how to show a dog, I'm just like, bro, I had come from this rinky-dink, registry
Mhm.
dog showing stuff, and then I go into a venue like that, and it's huge, it's Dallas, it's poppin', it's
Yeah.
fun, and I haven't been to a show like that since. There used to be a couple of shows in Mesquite that would have like fightings, not dog fighting, like rings where people go fight in there.
No, like UFC, but
Oh.
Yeah, well, yeah, but and then like girls walking around and car shows, like that was fun. Oh.
So we can hear you a little bit. You're saying a lot of things. I want to make sure we hear
Your
you.
gestures though.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's what it's like, kind of deal with the dude, like,
Yeah. So, with that being said, what dogs did you guys end up showing here this year?
So the thing about this year was we didn't know for sure, right, at that point, that we were moving.
Yeah.
But we had a good feeling that we were gonna leave Texas, so I wanted my local customers and my family to be there, so for me it was important, for him, he wanted to make
I didn't
a
even see you
point.
there. I saw you there. I didn't see you there. Were you
I was in the
judging?
ring.
You were judging?
No, I was showing.
Oh, showing. Okay.
Yeah.
So he wanted to make a point and bring some monsters out, which we did.
Yeah.
I just tried to bring dogs. I knew they weren't perfect.
Yeah.
And I did write it down prior to nationals that I truly wasn't. A lot of people say, "Oh, why would you compete if you didn't try to win?" It wasn't for me to try to win. I wanted people to see the possibility of what my breed can do.
Yeah.
As far as substance,
Yeah.
I'll be honest. The picks, the best in breed. Congratulations. But the dogs that he picked that belong to me, they're the furthest from the truth. I mean, the furthest from each other.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, he picked my champion. She looked like a pit bull. And my class dog, he looked like an overgrown English bulldog.
Yeah.
Like they're the furthest from the
And
same.
is that confusing to you? Because I think we talked on the last episode, they said something, and I'm like, I don't know what they were looking for.
Yeah.
I really don't know from I looked at, and I'm watching how they're choosing, I'm like,
You mean the other breeds?
period.
Every show?
Yeah.
I didn't know what they were, at National specifically. I'm looking at the pit bull, the bull, I'm like, what are they looking for? The Frenchie?
Yeah.
We didn't
For me,
even
I
watch
want a
anymore.
consistency.
Yeah.
There should be a consistency across the board.
Yeah.
So if you were that hell-bent on structure and you picked this champion, why did you pick this dog when he wasn't? I produced both dogs that went against each other. I know it was a father and a son. I know the dad had better structure,
Yeah.
but I don't understand why you picked the son. Then, okay, you picked him, so we're going to champion class, and you picked him. I'm like, what? I'm lost. So I'm like, all right, cool, it is what it is.
Yeah.
At that point, I was scared.
Mm.
So you pick the biggest, baddest, bulliest motherfucker in the building, and then you pick our pit bull that we just brought, she's clean.
Yeah.
And then when it came to the grand champion class, I was like, bro, no way,
Yeah.
this don't look.
It didn't look promising. And
Yeah,
it didn't,
promising.
and the grand champion, he picked the #1 dog, and he picked the #1 dog for the best in breed. And I mean, they were the farthest, all three of them. Never one of them looked the same.
Yeah.
Now, people, those listening, this is a guy who bred his own dogs and he's telling you the truth about his dogs. He doesn't have what you call kennel blindness, right?
Yeah.
He's saying the facts, which is very difficult to go back to the drawing board. This is what we talked about before I go. Where do you really take it when it looks so like I don't know what to bring to the show?
Yeah.
That's the challenge. I don't know where to take the next step.
Well, like you said, not being kennel blind, but today I definitely wanted to talk because I feel like we're all visionaries, right? Like we all have different visions in different areas of our life. When it comes to you putting people's, product and making it come to life, to me producing products, that can help dog owners, to your guys' vision, and how far are you willing to take it to make your vision come to life? And you mentioned that you guys had just purchased a house and you're moving from Texas to Virginia, correct? And to me, that's a move for a specific reason, as we talked before. Kind of explain to people why you're moving up to Virginia.
Well, I want to push the boundaries of my breed.
Mm.
Here in Texas, you're a Texan, you
Yeah.
understand. I wasn't born here, so I didn't understand when I moved here the heat. This is a different man. I mean, this is a different animal, my man.
Yeah.
Like I've been stationed in some hot places, Japan, all that kind of stuff, But at 99 degrees at 2 o'clock in the morning, that's a different animal.
Yeah.
Like the dogs get no break. So I can only go so thick, so bully. And a lot of people, they'll have something negative to say about that. But for me, is I gotta have a dog who's impressive. You know, when I was getting raised up in dogs, there was an old guy who used to always tell me some stories. And when I tell you these stories, it's gonna make you think, wow, why can't you walk into any SPCA in America and find a blue? But we can find any show, quote unquote, pit bull looking dog, but you can't find a blue. Why is that? Either one, there's only two reasons. You can't make them, a dime a dozen, or everybody wants them. So why wouldn't I want something that's in that category? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want to make pit bulls when I got 17 of them still stuck at home.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, we want to make dogs that we're proud of.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, they have to, when you have a litter of 9, you don't want to get stuck with 8 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of people, they'll tell you the bullshit. I'm gonna keep it funky with you. So I want to have a dog that I'm impressed with that sells at the same time.
Yeah.
All day.
So for me, when I moved to here, I didn't know what I was getting myself into.
Mm.
First day in the summer, I was like, damn, like this ain't for me.
Yeah.
From day one, I was like, yo, can we move?
I love barbecuing outside.
Can we move?
No.
Can we please go
And
back to the
especially
East
not
Coast
to the
or
East
something?
Coast, no.
Yeah.
So we after being here for 7, 8 years, I was like, look, I want to go bullier. I need the cooler air.
Yeah.
You know, I can't here. I mean, you live here, so you understand. It was 39 degrees last night, and it might be 85 this afternoon.
Yeah.
That don't make no sense.
So with that being said, though, like for me, I think, you know, I always think ahead. So I'm like, okay, let's say you go up to Virginia, right? You produce these bullier dogs, and you have a lot client base in Texas. Is that going to affect your?
No. Well, a lot of our dogs go to the East Coast.
Oh, do they?
At the same time, we sell to families, and the dogs going to be in the house anyway.
Yeah.
So, you
yeah.
know,
Well,
temperament's number one,
Uh-huh.
and then my family's like wrinkly, bulldog-looking dogs, you know.
Yeah.
But the other thing is now you can fly with a couple under their weight
20
of
pounds.
21 pounds.
Yeah. So by the time it's 8 weeks or so, you
You
should
can
be
just
straight.
fly on the plane.
Yeah.
I just did that. I went and picked up a bully in Seattle. So
Gotcha.
same thing.
And you flew back with it easy. Yeah.
No complaints. No complaints. No
Is
challenge.
that just any dog can be 21 pounds? It doesn't have to be a
Yeah, they
puppy.
got the carrier. It says it tell you how much weight the kid thing carries. As long as it's under 21 pounds, you just pay that $100 reservation fee and get on the plane with that little carrier, and the dog's good. It literally stayed in my lap.
Yep.
Nobody gave me no issues.
Or you can sometimes put it between your legs.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you talked about blue dogs. Are you the type of visionary with your vision? Are you color chasing?
Well, I think you mean blue,
Blue
the
the
dog.
dog.
Oh.
So he was saying you can't find that dog in no
Gotcha.
shelter. No, I picked up on that too.
Yeah, I
At first I
apologize.
thought he was talking color, but then he was like a dog like blue. I was like, oh.
A
wow.
dog like Samson. A dog
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
Blue.
Yeah.
Madden,
Like-
all those dogs.
Gotcha.
People taking them dogs. That's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
point.
Well, my point is, when you walk into an SPCA, you ain't finding a dog that's
course, yeah.
exemplary like that.
Yeah.
And there's nothing against pit bulls. That's not what I'm implying.
Yeah.
But thicker, bullier dogs sell.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think the trends across the board prove that. I mean, they're selling American bullies for enough to buy a house with nowadays. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, put a down payment.
I mean, meanwhile, my wife is looking for just a house dog. Like when we moved to Virginia, we got
Yeah.
5 acres. She just wants something that sits on the porch, and she's looking at like doggy Ibulldogges,
Yeah.
1,500,
Yeah.
2,000.
No, he's got to be $5,000 and up.
Yeah.
For me
That's
to
how
buy.
you. That's how you feel.
I don't want
But-
the cheap dog.
How you know it's cheap?
It's
though?
embarrassing.
It could be a great. It could map
No.
out. Look.
No, nobody with a badass dog's gonna be like, oh, what's the market? Okay, let me sell under it.
But this is the
You know?
thing. We talked about Sergio, right? And the Frenchies. Sergio's Frenchies are 7,000 tops. Like we're talking about a guy who does it for the love, drive 30 hours, come back, go to work on Monday, and he can't even justify. Mind you, he's been producing champions now for a long time, 25 years in the game space, and he'll never sell you a Frenchie more than 7,000.
He's so cool.
Yeah, that's my point. To say,
Well, he can sell me that triple woolly guy.
Oh, he loves that.
he ain't let that motherfucker go. He not.
Ass on her.
Trust me, I get the photos, man. They got a badass litter with Blue and Fortuna now, and
Is that her name, Fortuna?
the girl, yeah, I'm gonna be out there. Matter of fact, when we go out there and shoot, and the end of January, he was like, "Dude, puppies will be 8 weeks too." I said, "Mom, I have a fucking field day."
All right, bring him back.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Look, I'm in there like swimwear.
Hey.
I like her. So for me, that's a base. I can build from that base up.
For sure.
So for me as a bulldog person, the reason I like her so much, bulldogs notoriously don't have the best rears. So I build dogs from the asshole forward.
Look, me and Fred, we did a live on that, and we talked about breeding. I said, just like in athletics, you build from the ground up, right? Great hips. I said, well, we need to start something. I'm looking at the head, but in fact, you need to worry about the hip structure and the movement and mobility. So that's what we all. I breed the same way, starting from the rear all the way to the front, because you can fix the head easy.
Everybody says you can't, but I think you can.
Yeah, but you can't fix them bad hips and bad back and bad knees and high rear. That stuff takes.
It takes you 2 generations to fix any of that. Well, heads you can, like heads. What I tell people is heads, you're gonna get 1 or 2 in 1 generation.
There you go.
You can get consistency after 2 generations,
There you
but
go.
you can get 1.
And that's the thing too, people, on average, the decent females always gonna have a 22-inch head plus. Like, that's normal. And then it's not uncommon for a boy to have a 25.5 and up.
I've had a few big ones.
There you go. I met a dog years ago named T-Rex. That motherfucker had a 28-inch head.
Got him. Telling you, I got him.
Yeah.
I had a few dogs over the years. I've had anybody who has a choke chain on a dog,
Yeah.
they lying.
Yeah.
Anything. Everybody tells, oh, I got 30-inch head. You're lying.
Yeah.
That dog got a choke chain on. The choke chains, the biggest you're gonna find is 30 to 32. That's
Yeah.
the biggest you're gonna find.
Yeah.
And each circle on each end is an inch.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you feel me?
No, that's some game right there for you guys.
That is, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
So, I mean, you can ask anybody who's seen the dogs, who came to my house. James has been to my house. James Albert, he's been to my house. He's seen them. He's like, bruh, that's the biggest effing head I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Tux, he's seen Bear,
Kaiser.
Yeah. I mean, heads, they're not a dime a dozen that big.
So how's the environment in Virginia going to impact your dog's overall quality of life? Because I'm sure that's what that's one of the factors, I imagine.
So here, I'll say we rent where we stay. So we didn't want to or probably couldn't build an indoor-outdoor facility. And you know, that's the whole point. Now that we own the property, we're gonna invest into
The indoor outdoor
the
side.
dog.
But just even the lighter weather in terms of the
Yes.
heat.
Oh,
That's
they're
going.
just gonna be
So-
golden.
I was talking to a fellow older breeder, and he said, "Man, what are you doing to get ready for nationals?" Sleeping. He's like, "What you mean?" I was like, "Bro, I can't." It was July and August. I was like, "Bro, I can't work my dogs like you can."
Yeah.
I mean, it's hotter than hell outside.
Mhm.
The only thing I can do, maybe get up at 5 a.m. and hope it's still cool to where I can walk them 2-3 miles, and that's about it. And even then, they gassed.
Yeah.
So when we came down here and we got some X-Dog stuff, I was like, let's try.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Short burst, high,
High intensity.
Yeah, I put.
A lot of weight.
Yeah.
He didn't follow your
I didn't follow the instructions. Though.
He was like loading them
I
up.
loaded
You
that
guys,
bag up.
use the drag bag as well?
Oh, I love that thing.
Well, everybody knows that you got to know your dogs. You know, like we do it for the safety of like the novice. You know what I mean? But I got some people who compete in like Iron Dog and stuff, man, and they don't give a shit. That thing will weigh 15 pounds on a 50-pound dog.
He was towards the end. He was putting the 2 vets on 1 dog.
Well, that's the whole thing. It's like, for example,
Thanks for that one.
that's one of the reasons why the vest or one of the features is like, you may not have a big area, maybe you live in an apartment, or like we wanted to make it super convenient, or it's hot outside, you can put the vest on and do some things inside of the dog, and it just changes the game.
Yeah, it definitely did. I loaded every bag up with BBs, even that big bag. Instead of the cool,
Oh shit.
I put the BBs on the inside.
Now guys, if you guys buy the product, X-Dog does not warranty that shit. That's why we put the certain amount of weight on each, so the vest breaks,
Oh, we
Because
it didn't break.
fucked up the vest a little bit. With,
I might,
right
It's
here with the
stretched.
drag,
Yeah.
the drag bags.
That's it.
yeah, I got some ideas on how to possibly fix that issue too, so, just
Oh,
in
no,
case,
it held up. I'll give it that.
I appreciate that.
It did what it was supposed to do.
Well, I know.
Only thing it was doing, it was stretching back just a little bit.
Well, I know who to send the vest to when we need a product test,
You know the vests are amazing, but the badass thing about them is as soon as you put them on a dog, that motherfucker feeling himself. He's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I'm like, bro, I wish I could show a dog in a fucking vest.
Remember in that movie
Yeah.
Bad Boys 2, he said, remember Dan Marino? He said, oh, he gonna test drive the shit out of this. That Cadillac.
Exercise releases endorphins.
Yeah,
You
all
know?
that. I mean, it's a positive. I mean, Aaron sent me a video yesterday from Tuna. He's got her back on what we call the snapback. Because he's like, bro, you bring a camera here. I need to make sure she's up to your standards for the video. And bro, she's like, bro, she was ready for the work, man. She really enjoyed it. And she's ready for it to come off too. It worked both ways.
Oh yeah, it did.
What were some of the dogs that you guys seen out there outside of your yard that kind of impressed you overall? Or you think
Bully-wise?
No, just dogs in general. It could be American Bullies or Frenchies or.
Oh, I love Dooley.
Yeah.
I saw him in California. Never saw the dog before, and Fred knew me and my dog Rex, and I'm like, ooh, I was feeling special, and then I'm like, bro, his dog is just different. He's badass. He's not blue fawn, and he's like wet coat.
Yeah.
Badass.
Yeah.
He's a little bit, not as crazy, but he's just perfect. You know.
Yeah, he's really clean.
Mm-hmm.
It reminds you of the old ways
That's
in
a
which.
sexy dog.
That's the best way to explain it.
That's the best, and that's a good perspective. I love classic and clean, and from a clean standpoint, we talked about in the last episode, mobility. When you get too big, you lose functionality.
Can't wipe your ass.
Yeah, so he has that going for him. There's no stiffness or tightness. Yeah, correct.
But so the thing, a lot of people, their pride gets in their way because you ask as a judge. I ask them, hey, is this a standard or is it a classic?
Yeah.
Because I'm judging, accordingly. Is it it's a standard. Okay, I'm gonna ask you one more time. Is this a classic or is this a standard?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And no, it's a standard.
Why you gotta do it like that, Chris?
Because there's a lot of dogs that I've seen that are very nice, but if they say classic, the dog just went to the next level for me. You see what I'm saying? But if they say standard, okay. Bro, there's just not enough dog there.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful animal. I like Fred's dog, beautiful animal. But if we put Fred's dog next to James's dog, they're two total different styles of dog.
Yeah.
Two total.
So, and if I asked, hey, what variety is this? Oh, both of them are standard. So, okay, so it's like judging a man and a woman.
Like physique and bodybuilding.
Yeah, it's like, listen, I'm asking you, standard or classic? Standard, okay. And then I'm gonna say it to the person behind them loud enough so the person in front of them hears it. Is this a standard or a classic? Oh, standard. Like, I try to give the people the benefit of the doubt, but I think a lot of times it hurts their ego to say classic.
Why do you think that is?
They just want a badass bully dog.
I mean,
Like me.
just being honest, it probably would hurt my feelings too.
Yeah.
I'm a breeder, so.
But you also seem to be very versed in how you interpret even the standards. So I think it's important for people to do their homework and know where to put their dog. Because again, like you just talked men's physique, there are people who go out there on stage and stand next to an NPC nigga, and they like, oh, I need to put on some swim trunks and just do men's physique because I'm not about that life.
Yeah, but here's the thing I try to tell people. This is the most important. As a bodybuilder, you understand this.
Yeah.
You can look like the Jay Cutlers, the Lou Ferrigno's, the
Ronnie Coleman.
Ronnie Coleman's.
Yates,
But check this out. Watch this. I'm gonna crush your dreams. You can take 16 years of your life to look like that guy. 6 months after not working out and doing your routine, you're gonna look like me. So to gain mass, it took you 16 years. It doesn't have to take 16 years. It could take you 6 years.
It takes a long time.
But to lose mass, it took you 6 months.
See, I always, people would always, you'd hear these people and they would see someone like Ronnie Coleman, like, oh, I hate to look like him.
And like
Trust
Arnold
me,
says, you never will.
you never will. Don't worry about that. You ain't got it in you to look like that. Trust me. So stop worrying about that shit.
But the thing is, people don't get that concept, like the hard work that it took and the commitment to get to that level. But the minute Ronnie was like, yo, I'm done. My knees are bad, my back is bad,
My hips,
he shriveled up.
Yeah.
like a prune.
Well, that's why I tell people there's a lot of difference between I had to deal with this shit a lot, dealing with dog supplements and nutrition and stuff like that. They're like, it's genetic. Of course it's fucking genetics, but just because you have great genetics doesn't mean you're maximizing your dog's genetic potential. And there's a big difference, and you can tell the difference between someone who is a dog person and really understands that compared to someone who just owns dogs. You know what I mean? It's just a big difference.
Oh, that pet home.
Yeah.
They don't like the vet. Right.
Well, they do now. Like,
We
see,
have to educate them on all the because they see it, they think dog fighting or
Yeah.
cruelty.
They don't see
you know.
anxiety.
They don't
Yeah.
see all the things that it could benefit.
it's taken a while, but now working with more dog behaviorists and building relationships with trainers, because now we have this laundry list of trainers where they understand that we're trying to build a platform for them and help them out as well, because they utilize the tool in a variety of different ways to deal with behavior issues, which the everyday dog owner deals with.
I mean,
Showing
just
up shit in the house,
Just having it on, isn't it like that?
Listen, people, sometimes our topics get a little bit longer. We don't want to cut it just at 30. If we're really rolling, we keep this thing going. Therefore, at the end of our YouTube, you will see, hey, jump on the links listed below. Follow us on Spotify,
Sure.
Apple,
Sure.
where else? Google.
Wherever else you guys
Wherever-
list us at.
Yeah, wherever we're listed at, and continue to follow and listen to the show, whatever we're talking about. Hopefully you enjoy the topics. Stay tuned. Appreciate you guys' support.
Yeah, and as always, man, leave us a comment, subscribe, share. In the comments or in the reviews, also, leave us some topics that you would like us to discuss. We don't hold back, so if you want us to talk about something, be sure to leave it there. So, as always,
Team X Dog Strong.